Your birthday is coming up. Someone asks you a simple question. So, what are you doing for your birthday? And you answer with something that instantly confuses people. Nothing. It's just another day. Suddenly, the room gets quiet. Your friends look at you like you just said something depressing. Your family thinks you're being stubborn. And society acts like if you don't blow out candles, cut a cake, and post a smiling photo online, something must be wrong with you. But what if nothing is actually wrong with you? What if the real story behind birthdays feeling empty is much deeper than people realize? Psychologists have studied this exact reaction, and their findings reveal something surprising about how the human brain handles expectations, attention, and happiness. In fact, the way you feel about your birthday might say more about how your mind processes meaning than about the day itself. So if birthdays have ever felt strangely pointless or emotionally flat to you, keep watching. Because by the end of this video, you might understand something important about yourself that most people never realize. Let's begin with the group almost nobody talks about. The people who stopped celebrating birthdays. Not because they chose to, but because life quietly taught them not to expect too much. Psychologist Martin Seligman once described a phenomenon called learned helplessness. It happens when someone experiences disappointment again and again, without any real control over the outcome. Eventually, the brain just stops trying. Not because the person is weak, but because the brain is efficient. Think about birthdays through that lens. When you're a child, birthdays feel magical. You expect attention. You expect your friends to remember. You expect the day to feel special. But imagine that expectation slowly breaking. One year, someone forgets. Another year, the celebration never happens. Another year, it feels smaller than you hoped. Your brain starts doing the math. Neuroscience tells us that the brain constantly predicts rewards. When reality doesn't match the expectation, the dopamine system adjusts. After enough disappointment, the brain lowers the prediction. Eventually, the excitement disappears. Not because you stopped caring, because your brain decided that hoping hurts more than letting go. So when someone calmly says, "It's just another day," that sentence might not be indifference. It might be emotional armor that built over years. But here's the surprising part. Not everyone who ignores their birthday carries emotional scars. And the second group proves that. Some people genuinely forget their birthday. Not from sadness, from overload. Psychologists sometimes describe this as time blindness. When your mind is focused on work, goals, deadlines, responsibilities, time itself starts to blur. Weeks feel like days. Months disappear faster than expected. Your calendar starts looking less like a schedule and more like organized chaos. In this mental state, birthdays don't feel important. Not because the person lacks self-worth, but because their attention is already invested in 100 other priorities. Their brain simply files the day under not urgent. right next to the dentist appointment they've postponed 3 times, and the project deadline they're trying to survive. And if that sounds familiar, here's a strange question to consider. If your life is so full that a birthday barely exists, is that a problem? Or is that a sign of something else? But the third group might be the most misunderstood of all. Some people skip birthday celebrations for a completely different reason. They simply don't need them. These individuals already answered a question most people never stop to ask. Where does my happiness actually come from? Psychologists studying self-determination theory discovered something fascinating. People who feel psychologically fulfilled tend to rely less on external validation. They don't depend on rituals, social attention, or special events to feel valuable. Their sense of meaning comes from within. There's also another concept called the hedonic treadmill. It describes the cycle where people chase one moment of happiness after another. Celebrations, milestones, achievements, only for that feeling to fade. And then the chase begins again. But some people, eventually, step off that treadmill. Instead of waiting for one specific day each year to feel important, they learn how to feel whole on ordinary days. A random Tuesday can feel just as meaningful as a birthday, and it's enough to make other people uncomfortable. Because when someone doesn't need external celebration, the rules of the game changes. The people in this group already know something important. They don't need a calendar to remind them they matter. They already decided that for themselves. However, not everyone reaches this point peacefully. And this is where the story becomes more personal. Imagine being 8 years old. Your birthday is coming. You've been counting down for weeks. You told your friends at school. You imagined the balloons, the cake, the moment everyone gathers just for you. But when the day arrives, it's quiet. Maybe someone forgot. Maybe the celebration never happened. Maybe it simply felt smaller than the dream you created in your head. You didn't complain. You didn't cry where anyone could see. You just adjusted your expectations. And the next year, you hoped a little less. And the year after that, even less. Researchers call this something known as the anniversary effect. Certain dates don't just remind us of past experiences. They quietly reactivate the same emotions. So sometimes, when someone avoids celebrating their birthday, it's not because they forgot. A younger version of them is still remembering. But here's the final twist, and it might be the most important one. Psychologist Jennifer Crocker studied something called contingent self-worth. She discovered that some people avoid celebrations not from independence, but from protection. They secretly want the recognition, but they fear disappointment. So instead of risking that feeling, they remove the expectation entirely. Here's also an important question. When someone says their birthday doesn't matter, which reason is it? Is it freedom? Is it emotional armor? Or is it quiet fear hiding behind indifference? Only one person truly knows the answer. And if you're still watching this, that person might be you. But here's the truth many people never consider. Maybe we've been measuring the wrong thing all along. Maybe celebrating loudly isn't proof of happiness. Maybe the real sign of self-acceptance is not needing the spotlight at all. Some people spend their birthday surrounded by dozens of people and still feel empty. Others spend it alone and feel completely at peace. And if that second group includes you, there's something important you should hear. There is nothing broken about that. You might simply belong to a quieter tribe of people who don't need permission to feel whole. And sometimes, silence is celebrating enough. But I'm curious about something. If your birthday arrived tomorrow and nobody planned anything, what would be your feelings? Tell me in the comments. I am reading all of that. Thank you so much for your precious time, and take care of yourself. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more psychology deep dives. Bye!